So Sony just put on the PlayStation Showcase this week, showing off games like God of War Ragnarok, Wolverine, and Spider-Man 2, as well as a remake of Knights of the Old Republic. I personally thought the show was pretty lackluster, but I want to talk about why. I put my opinions out on Twitter, and a lot of people were angry with my thoughts. Surprise, surprise. And I wanted to give a discussion as to why I'm not as psyched as pretty much the entire internet. If you like the video, leave a like on it, dislike if you hate it, and subscribe for more FPS content. And that's exactly why I wasn't a big fan of this showcase. If you're a subscriber of this channel or you've happened to see a couple of my videos in the past, you know that this channel has been multiplayer FPS centric since day one. I grew up playing games like SOCOM, and during the PS3 era, which I thought was the best time to be a PlayStation gamer, we had a plethora of choices from Mag to Warhawk to Resistance to SOCOM, while still getting incredible single-player titles like Heavy Rain, God of War, and Uncharted. It was a time where both sides of the gaming community were feeding off of everything that Sony was putting out. They had an insane library of first-party multiplayer, while at the same time being complemented by the Call of Duties and Battlefields from that third-party space. The landscape in 2021 is much different, and the shift changed with the release of the PlayStation 4. Ever since then, the single players have reigned supreme from Sony's camps with games like Last of Us, God of War, Horizon, Uncharted. But the last really big first-party multiplayer game that I can remember was Killzone Shadow Fall, which was the worst one in the series and marked the downfall of the franchise. It was a launch title for the PS4, and it just was not good. It didn't hit, and the attachment rate for people buying new consoles weren't jumping into a game that was that lackluster. Before that, the biggest multiplayer release was 2012's Starhawk, which was a sequel to 2007's Warhawk, a game that I have really fond memories of, one of the best multiplayer experiences that the PS3 offered. Starhawk was a significant downgrade from the original, and it marked the downfall of that franchise. A year prior to that was 2011's SOCOM 4, which was the worst one in the series and marked the downfall of the franchise. I'm sure by now you can kind of start to see the pattern. You make lackluster games, you kill franchises, and then the higher-ups at Sony just look at it and say, well, these games aren't making money anymore. But realistically, if you didn't try to change the game from what it was for the sequels to try and capture larger audiences and kept the spirit of those games alive, kind of like what you did with God of War, it could have been incredible, but you didn't. And there they go. PlayStation hasn't been known for their multiplayer shooters in quite some time, opting to create story-driven third-person action-adventure games galore. God of War, Uncharted, Horizon, these games are all fantastic. I loved them each differently. Like, I remember when Uncharted 4 came out, it was one of my favorite games of the year. I absolutely loved it. But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't left feeling a little empty with Sony's libraries in the past decade. And obviously I am a SOCOM fan. 2021 marks the 10-year anniversary of the death of that franchise. I know that SOCOM isn't coming back in any sort of capacity, but I am questioning why Sony doesn't want to look at their other franchises like Killzone, combining that multiplayer FPS combat with the quality that they're putting into their single-player titles. I feel like it would be a no-brainer. Recently, with Hermen Hulst becoming the head of Sony Interactive Worldwide Studios, stepping down from his role as co-founder at Guerrilla Games, I had hopes that Sony would start to dabble back into the multiplayer space, considering Hermen had a hand in creating one of Sony's most prolific FPS IPs with Killzone 1 and 2. It's seemingly gone the opposite way, with Hermen doubling down in an interview on the PlayStation blog back in June, in which he says single-player narrative-driven games is their DNA. PlayStation Studios have made, in his mind, some of the most memorable narrative experiences available, and I absolutely agree. They say they love making them, and they'll keep making them as long as gamers enjoy them. Now, he does mention that he wants to make sure that they're creating a variety of experiences for their audiences, franchises, new IPs, big games, smaller, single-player stories, and multiplayer. He says, who says that multiplayer experience cannot have great stories? I guess for me, as somebody who has followed Sony and followed the gaming industry as a whole for this many years, I've been waiting for Sony to start kind of putting some more energy towards the multiplayer space, and every time I watch one of these showcases, I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for Sony to start catering to that side of the community that I feel at this point, after 10 years, they've just kind of left behind. If you're a multiplayer person, and you like playing shooters, the only options that you have on PlayStation right now are games like Call of Duty and games like Battlefield. We know that Insurgency Sandstorm is hitting consoles at the end of the month. Hell Let Loose is looking to come to the PS5 here soon. But in terms of Sony's first-party franchises, which I thought were fantastic, they're sitting on them, they're keeping them locked up in a vault, and they're not actually doing anything with them. And it's just really disappointing year in and year out. We're not seeing those franchises come to fruition in any sense. I heard a rumor that Twisted Metal is now being developed as like a reboot or a remake to coincide with the new TV series, and we never heard anything about that. I would personally love if that was Psyonix's next game. Seeing what they did with Rocket League and how popular that game has been, taking that knowledge and turning it into a car combat game with the Twisted Metal IP, to me that's a no-brainer and should have been kind of in the works already. Now, we do know that Guerrilla Games does have a second team in which they've hired talent from, Ubisoft and guys who have worked on Rainbow Six Siege. We don't know what that's going to be. The rumors have been a Killzone reboot. The rumors have been a SOCOM reboot. Nobody knows what that team is doing. And again, we've been hearing those rumors for about 2 years now, and I've kind of just been waiting to see if that green-lit project is actually going to come to fruition. Has it been canceled? We don't really know anything about it. And they also announced earlier this year that Firewalk Studios has basically signed a PlayStation 5 console exclusive. It's a debut game from a AAA multiplayer developer consisting of veteran developers from Bungie. So I'm very curious to see what that's going to be. I'm hoping that this is the beginning of Sony and PlayStation's foray back into the multiplayer space. If I could see the quality and the effort and the attention to detail that they're putting into games like God of War and take that and make a multiplayer experience, that's what I'm really, really excited for. So yeah, watching the showcase, man, again, I was disappointed. These games that they're putting out, the Wolverine, the Spider-Man, all of these crazy games that I know a lot of people are excited for, I'll end up playing them, but again, I'm not a single-player person. I don't like playing games by myself. I do like shooters, but I do like multiplayer stuff as well. The thing about like Spider-Man and God of War is even if they were co-op, I would be way more excited because I do like playing with other people. But at the end of the day, I put the tweet out basically saying I'm not impressed. A lot of people do know that my channel covers FPS, and a lot of people got pissed off. Look, if you guys like the showcase, I'm glad. Great. I'm glad that we finally have games that people want to play, right? PlayStation 5 has been pretty lackluster. I've been playing Returnal a little bit. That's been fun. And realistically, right now, there is a PlayStation 5 shortage. A lot of people are trying to get the consoles. They're vying for it. I myself actually got one, but I'm still waiting for that game to come out where I'm just like, whoa, this was definitely worth the purchase. I think Horizon and I think God of War are going to be those games for me. I just wish I could say the same about the multiplayer side of things. And that's really my opinions, man. I know a lot of people were pissed off that I put it out. Obviously, I'm going to have that opinion when Sony hasn't been focusing on the genre and the games that I like for quite some time. I also hate well, if you want to play multiplayer, fucking play Call of Duty. I don't like that. Obviously, Call of Duty's coming. Obviously, Battlefield's coming. I do have a PC for those kind of things, but I'm waiting for those first-party titles that were such a impactful time in gaming for me growing up. I'm waiting for those games to make a return, or I'm waiting for new IPs with the care and attention that Sony puts into their first-party games to come into the multiplayer space, because I think if they did that, if they put the same amount of love and care and attention into a Killzone game that these guys are doing with God of War and Horizon, Call of Duty, who? Battle, huh? Those are the games that I'm looking forward to playing, and I just don't see them actually coming to any sort of realization anytime soon. My name is BigFry. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. This is a hot topic on Twitter, apparently, and I wanted to put a video out kind of explaining my thoughts a little bit more. If you guys liked the video, leave a like on it. If you didn't like it, dislike it. Subscribe if you guys like FPS content. We got some Battlefield stuff coming up soon, Call of Duty. There's a bunch of stuff that I can't wait to be talking about here soon, and I'm excited for the future of the multiplayer space, just not on PlayStation. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.